What's good, everybody? Welcome to another weekly episode of
The Weekly 1-2.
I'm your boy Bryan.
My name's Wise.
We have two special guests with us today. We have Lorina and Jay right here, and our very own Jay Stevens of Shadows of Society.
Cheer.
So today, second episode, we coming in hot with more music, especially though YG.
For real, for real.
Was it for real? For real?
It was for real.
It was for real. For real.
It was never for real.
Let's chop it up right now. So this was an album dedicated for Nipsey Hussle. That's what we know. He was not really marketing the fact that an album was coming out until the singles came out, really.
Yeah.
With Stop Snitching and Go Loco, and then just Nipsey had to pass away, unfortunately. And then every single post was just, dedicated to Nipsey.
Yeah.
On the album it says, in big bold print, Nipsey Hussle, just R.I.P. just for him right here. So I know you guys are the big YG people. So what was your initial impressions of it going into it? Brandon, why don't we start with you?
Well, my initial impression was it was definitely different from anything that he'd done in the past. Like, he's normally more ratchet, like just more high energy type of style. And I feel like with this album, he really keyed into like more just melody and just he talked a little bit more to us on this album. I feel like he definitely wanted us to hear him lyrically, opposed to just the upscale beats that make you dance at the club. Like, he wanted you to hear him a little bit more. So I feel like he definitely took a different route.
Okay. Jay, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like he took the route of just wanted to embody all that he's learned up until this point with Still Crazy and everything. For Still Crazy, and just wanted to really flourish and show his lyrical ability, like Lorina was saying, but also show that he can be a little bit versatile in his music. You know what I'm saying? Not always just having to be on some turn up shit, even though he did have some of that. A lot of that. But he kind of masked it with some melodic stuff, kind of groovy, like songs like Do You Dance, kind of stick out for that.
Every time you hear YG, you're doing some footwork.
Right. Yeah, this is two-steps. Crazy.
It's inevitable.
Honestly, this definitely was a way more mature YG album.
Yeah.
When you go back to My Crazy Life, his debut album, that one comes off the jump. It makes you dance. Legit majority of the whole project. He's still talking I would say YG's always been a lyrical rapper, especially with his albums specifically. He's definitely lyrical. I feel like he's underrated for that. But this album, I would say, it's the most lyrical album. He's really talking about life. Yeah. He's touching on different aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My Crazy Life, Still Brazy, even Stay Dangerous. You can hear the growth, but then I would say too, they have more funness to them, you know what I'm saying? In the sense, even though subject gangbanging and shit ain't fun, but he definitely had a lot of fun to him. This one was a way more serious album. He still clearly had his dance songs, his fun songs, his bangers, but it was way more slow, melodic, really just like Lorina said, speaking to you as the audience member, really letting you get a chance to take a view inside his mind when it comes to his music, his lyrics. They were very much very descriptive and really vivid. You can see what he's saying.
And I was kind of hoping, because this was an album that was very, he's attached to Nip, so he was a little emotional with it. Every album that I messed with, he has that intro where he has the 7 sets the mood. In the first album, he did his mom yelling at him if you're messing out there, you're gonna be in jail. The next album too, he had that same kind of intro, and then he went in a different direction this time. He just went straight into a banger, which was tight. But I was expecting something to be more emotional, more vulnerable. As we always kind of go back to the Schoolboy album, that we were looking very emotional. We got it though.
We got it though. We got it with.
It was a good balance.
It
was a good balance. But why do you think sales are so down? Sales are really down.
I think that goes back to what you were saying about him only posting a lot of posts about Nipsey. It wasn't really look out for my album coming out soon. It was his album got delayed, but it was he wasn't even really talking about the album. I think at once he said 4Real's coming, and then that was all. Then Nipsey was murdered. Then after that, it was just Nipsey post, and then Stop Snitching dropped, and then Go Loco dropped. I feel with YG always though, he drops the one song. Last one was was Suwu, and then afterwards it was I forget the track, but
he always drops the one that's like the videos are shot like it's kind of like in a prison, right? And it's like really hard.
It's Rocky, right?
Yeah. What's that?
Because he teased that beat too. I remember.
Hanga.
That's called.
Yeah.
It was an interesting album. I think also too one of the things you can take away from it is that, like we said, the marketing was very, very catered towards just the West Coast. I kind of feel like he kind of thought he was going to be able to make it based off the marketing just for the West Coast, because he did the Go Local song, and they had the taco trucks going over, which was a really cool concept. But you know, we really didn't get a sense the album was coming until we saw those singles coming out.
Right.
And you know, it's interesting because, you know, like, there was a couple songs that he didn't release, like In the Dark.
Oh my God, In the Dark,
fire!
Fire.
That's
just the bass in that record, and just like the fierceness. It's like that bravado. You know, you're supposed to have on a record. Like, you know, like dark. Like I'm about that business. Like,
he does the Outkast thing though. That's the only thing. Like the one problem I have with Outkast, because I love Outkast. Outkast is amazing, but they repeat their chorus forever sometimes. He says in the dark. Definitely the sun's not up when he's talking.
But it's what makes it catchy, honestly.
It does.
That's what honestly makes the song like a memorable song. Like I'm saying In the Dark like almost every day. And I've heard the song a lot of times, but it's that catchy, you know what I'm saying? Like he definitely does do that a lot though. He like, especially on this album, I noticed. But I don't know, this album, like I think Lorina said it like the hooks are very much more mature on this project.
I was definitely telling Ivan that I think that it has a lot to do outside of the promotion. I feel like the promotion was very much low. But I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of his audience, they're used to like the club bangers. They're used to like the turn up music, the songs that make you dance. And while he had that, I feel like it was not expected from somebody like YG. I feel like it was like too much too soon for them. For like some of the hooks and how mature it was and the melody. Like that's not a route he's really taken. It was a lot of versatility in this album. And I feel like for a lot of his audience, that's not something that they understood or was expecting to get so fast. So I feel like it was like the fact that it was not expected of him. So it turned people off. And I feel like possibly even turned people off from possibly listening to the whole thing. Like people probably skipped around, I'm thinking.
You know, adding to that also brings me to the point that the audience has to mature with the artist.
Exactly.
A lot of times, like what happens is the artist is maturing and the audience is still wanting the artist to do what they did before. Like, why isn't there enough
why they feel like
left rights on there? You know, but it's like they're there, but you just have to listen to the projects. And a lot of people don't like listening to the albums
and listening to them through.
Exactly, because people like skipping around. But the way to listen to an album isn't skipping around. It's from front to back. You gotta listen. That's how you know. Honestly, my theory is an artist is great if they can put together a great album. And time and time again, if you ask me, YG's albums you can listen to front to back.
Front to back.
My least favorite is Stay Dangerous. I do skip on that one sometimes, but all his other albums, I can listen to those straight through. Like, this is story. This real, like, clear cut. This is what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I definitely like that in Stay Dangerous, though. He kind of changed it up with Slay with Quavo. That was a new kind of sound I haven't heard from him before.
Yeah, never.
I think, though, too, you know, as you guys are saying, this is a good album.
Yeah.
Where would you guys place this among all the YG albums that you've heard? Because I think a lot of people may not have been bumping this album as much because a lot of them I feel like were put on with Big Bang. Like the mainstream crowd was put on with Big Bang. And like that means, you know, when they're put on a song like that, and also too, it was put on because remember what's his name, Bad and Jay with purple hair, 6ix9ine, they were going beefing at each other, and because, you know, he was saying how come you're getting numbers that are good but less than mine, and you had, you know, Nicki, you had Big Sean, you had 2 Chainz on there, and that, you know, obviously there's no such thing as bad publicity. Of course. So like people were feeding into that. You know, the younger generation maybe not familiar with YG were going into Big Bang, but when you go for like an artist with that one song, you're only going to look for that one song. And you're not going to be doing what I've been saying, listen to that album, you know, the whole way through.
You're not one of those artists that grew with you kind of the bandwagon and hopped on.
And it's never a problem with that, honestly.
For sure. Everybody catches on.
As an artist, as a sports fan, as any type of fan, like, or an artist or an athlete, you want people to see what you're doing eventually, you know? So it's no problem with bandwagoners. It's just the problem when they don't want to go back and really study or see what they what they were doing before. It kind of just ends up being like, well, why aren't they doing what they did last time? But it's like, if you listen to the other two albums,
they did this.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you guys rank this album for, in your guys' opinions? From like, if you had to think like, if you guys think like, what is your like, not just like say your top YG album, because that's kind of unfair. He's already released, you know, like about like 6 or 7 now. It's kind of hard to say. But if you had to pick like your top 2, first off, would you say this would be in it or not at all?
For me, I would definitely say my top 3, just based on the fact that I'm a very much melodic type of person, and he had enough of that. I definitely love to turn up, and I love to dance. He had enough of that. So I can't think of the first one. The first one that I'm thinking of is my first. It's like a mixtape. I cannot think of the name of it.
Was it like it was Rhea? Like I think
something
it was
like that.
Rhea.
So I'm like mixtape day. So that's my favorite by him. And then the other one I will say, if I'm not mistaken, it's the one with Donald Trump. I think it's Still Brazy.
Still Brazy.
That's definitely like my top 2. The Rhea, Still Brazy, and this is gonna have to be the third for me. I love the versatility. I love the melodies. I can listen to this is gonna be another played album for me. So.
What about you?
For myself, I'd probably say this is top 2. I haven't even, if I'm being honest, I haven't given all of YG's album. Like, listen, if you said like 6, 7, I didn't even know. I thought you had like 5 or 4 actually.
Well, preparing for this podcast, you know, I feel like you gotta be up on top. I don't really release that many either, you know. And obviously he was mixtapes, you know, like he hasn't put on Spotify or like all the streaming services.
Definitely.
Before he was, you know, YG, that's when he was YYG, young YG.
I didn't even know
it would definitely be like this would be top 1 for me because I've just like been able to listen to it like back and forth like with nonstop, except for the last record. The last record with the woman he featured. I forget her name. Clown, something like that.
Yeah. Her Story or something.
Her Story, and that's a cool record. Like it's a really
dope
record. It's a cool cut, but it's like for me, it was like, dang, I feel like it's kind of out of place. But I can still listen to it though. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the harsh record or nothing like that. And then my second album would be
the girl feature was Days Too Long.
Oh, okay. I said it was a Clan song.
Because the last song was the Stop Century remix with The Baby, the Babies.
Yeah.
I
snapped on that. For sure.
Stop Stitching. That's definitely my jam there.
But that was like the third to last song though.
Right. And then Stay Dangerous would be my second.
Stay Dangerous was a good one too.
Man, actually, I gotta like sit on it more because, like, honestly, like My Crazy Life was that album stayed on repeat until the next album came out. Honestly, and like you know, that was My Crazy Life. And Still Brazy is like it's hard. That album is really hard.
Still play that one.
Honestly, like I could just tell you what's my least favorite, which is Stay Dangerous. Honestly, Stay Dangerous is my least favorite YG album. Honestly, and then too thinking about that day when it dropped. He dropped on the worst possible day because Swimming dropped and Astro World. And those both were way better to me personally.
You know what
I'm saying? So
that was the day the earth would quake from all the asses that would shake. Also, too, you know, what do you guys, if you guys had to pick a song of this album, because there's a lot that just kind of grow on you. You know, like for example, like obviously, like you know, Go Loco was a good one. Stop Stitching, what you know came out with, but In the Dark obviously big, but like Bottle Service, that one.
Bottle Service.
That's hard.
Bro, I was going in like bar for bar, like you know what I mean. Like I forgot what line he said. It was something about In the meantime, Bottle Service. You know what song I really enjoyed? I think Lorina would agree on this one. Exactly, Keisha, baby.
That's like number 1 for me on the album, definitely.
That song is hard.
That was the one where it's like he really went into the lane of melody. And I love that. And I just was like, he just went into a completely different lane than what he usually do.
Storytelling.
Honestly, low-key, right after Stop Snitching, the album just, honestly, to me personally, that's when the album takes the like YG transformed into a man.
And that's when people would most likely stop listening. Because you're going to hear the top 3, and then you're going to see the 2 singles that he released, and then after that you're going to say, okay, well, these are enough songs for me to get on with. I'm going to put them on my playlist and save them, and that's it. So,
because I mean, he goes back to like the dancing with Do Not Disturb and Do Your Dance. But then even that, right after that, it's her story, and Day Salon like pretty much is just on some real deep, like talking about like this girl or this lady that goes from like being a girl going through some shit all the way to her adulthood going through some shit, being affected from her childhood and shit. Like, you know, it's that song is really deep. I just personally wish that YG had a verse on there, but it's her story for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and honestly, personally too, I feel like Stop Snitching the remix was just kind of misplaced on there because right after the my last words.
You don't like the baby verse on it?
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it was misplaced.
It shouldn't have been there.
Like it was misplaced. Like you don't go from My Last Words to Nipsey Hussle tribute to Stop Snitching remix. Like
it throws off the whole like point and vibe of the album. It's like the album. If it closed on that alone, it would have been solid. But I feel like honestly, now we're talking about it, I feel like that was only placed there because of like the labels. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like they're like, oh yeah, we need you to get a remix with the baby. He hot right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, like goes in there just to get some.
It was hot though.
It was still fire for sure. But
yeah, he also could have waited a little bit instead of remix.
Exactly.
Put like more people on, right?
That too.
I personally
Blueface would be crazy on that.
Yeah,
we didn't see one Blueface feature on here. I was surprised about that.
I personally feel like that song was like made the album feel like a deluxe version. Like that it really to me personally stopped at My Last Words. Because with it saying like In Love and Memory of Nipsey Hussle on the cover, and then that's the ending. My Last Words.
Just Stop Snitching.
But then Stop Snitching just like
it's just another reminder just to stop snitching.
Yes.
I have a question for y'all because I know you guys mess with YG and you guys know his sound and everything. I was talking to Ivan about this, but this has kind of happened, but hasn't completely happened. We've seen a Quavo feature, but how come we haven't seen a YG Migos collab? I think that'd be actually. I think that would work because you know Migos has that unique flow.
I don't know.
They can go in when they want, but YG has that flow. It's kind of similar to Nip's flow occasionally, but it's kind of not continuous. It breaks up, but it's steady. Yeah. But that is like the flow of like Migos. Like that's not what they were put onto. That was what they did. Mm-hmm. They changed it up a little bit. In the culture too. Mm-hmm. Because they're getting all that criticism of everybody saying mumble rap and everything. But obviously Quavo's just been on there for like choruses. Yeah. So the first one he did with YG was the 100 Bands. So DJ Mustard just dropped, and he has a verse in there. But it's just everyone gets their own verse. Mm-hmm. But that style would
actually be.
And then Mustard just did Pure Water.
Yeah, and that song.
Oh, I forget that he did that cut.
Yeah, and what did that song went platinum or something like that?
Real fast.
Yeah,
real fast. And Mustard, how that's YG's producer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they got stuff lined up. It just hasn't been released yet. But what do you think, Lorina? Do you think that would work, or would you think it wouldn't work?
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, I could see it, but
it can go a lot of directions.
Yeah.
I personally feel like it would work. Especially, I feel like YG and Offset will have like some of the hardest verses on that song. I know Takeoff will get off. Quavo will have a dope chorus or hook on there too. He'll have a cool verse. It will work honestly, especially with DJ Mustard's production. Like I think that would work.
If I'm being honest, though, I would rather instead of Quavo, I want YG to have the hook though.
Yeah.
I could see YG having the hook
on a Migos song.
On a Migos record.
Yeah.
I could see them calling it a YG record. But it's really a Migos song. You know what I'm saying? It's like Migos on the whole record, and then he's just on the hook, but it's YG featuring Migos.
That would be hard, actually.
Yeah.
I got another question for y'all. I was debating this for a while. I've talked about this item for a little bit. We haven't finished the debate, but this is an interesting question. So, I think now, where YG's at, obviously sales are down, but Go Locos when we played all summer.
Oh yeah,
off
top.
Into the winter.
Yeah, over the winter. You know what? If he wants to, he can keep those taco trucks rolling through California if he wants. But the thing is that, but when you have, we have honestly I know rap was founded in New York.
Yeah.
But when it came to the West Coast, with NWA and everybody else putting it on, gangster rap really came up.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are going to be thought of when you think of West Coast gangster rap.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So with Go Loco though, YG is now A-list. You can't deny that. He's A-list now.
Facts.
He's an A-list rapper.
I would agree.
But he's an A-list rapper, right? We can't deny he's a rapper, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But who are our A-list rappers that represent us? We got...
In West Coast.
Yeah, we got Kendrick.
Okay.
We got Ice Cube. Dr. Dre.
Who
am I missing? We have...
Snoop.
Of course. DJ Quick.
DJ Quick.
Yeah. Would y'all even toss some Sugar Free in there?
Sugar Free is kind of like a Can
he's a legend though.
He's a legend in general, but I don't feel like he's like household.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too short.
Too short. Definitely too short.
You got the E40.
Yeah. But see, like all these people got hard bars.
Yeah.
Really hard bars.
Right.
No disrespect to YG. No disrespect to YG. We love the music YG.
None.
But his bars, when you think of somebody who's a rapper, they're an MC. And when you think of someone's bars as a rapper who's coming from the West Coast, he's been able to do that. And his bars aren't comparable to some of these people.
That's true.
Facts.
And so, obviously, too, like, I hate to bring this up. I just have it because it's on my mind. And I hate saying it because, like, I feel like it pulls away from him. Because ultimately, too, like, some of the reasons, like, we like some of the rappers, for example, because I ultimately feel like a lot of people get drawn into YG because his beats are hard.
Yeah.
That's mustard.
For sure.
That's mustard.
Yeah.
Right.
So, YG is an anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How is his bars are harder than like Kendrick, right?
Nah.
Or like, the people on the up and coming, like the Blue Faces, Roddy Ricch is kind of slumping a little bit. But like, he's A-list now.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna be in our like top, 5, top 10 discussion maybe.
Due to his lack of lyricism, you're saying?
But
what do you think?
I'm
just putting
I hear what you're saying.
I hear you on that. Like I agree with you on that. But at the same time, with an album like this is an album that's gonna grow on people like later. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a given. Like I feel like, but I do feel like personally, his lyrics don't get enough credit because although his lyrics sometimes are funny and they cannot be taken serious sometimes, he got bars. Like it's almost in the sense of 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz got bars, but I feel like he was slept on. People know he's hard, but people don't really. I don't really think people really understand how hard 2 Chainz really is. Like,
and that's because they boxed them. They boxed them into the going out, partying, and dancing type of music.
Right.
And when you're looking at an artist like in that light, you're not really taking what they're saying as serious. It's like, okay, they can rap or they are good, but you're looking at them more so for that lane, for the dance and the partying, the turn up type of.
Even though it was 2 Chainz of the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
What'd you think, Jay?
I feel like I agree. I feel like YG has like a lot of like, I won't say they're like over the head bars, but they're bars that's like kind of like really, they're not, okay, if I were to compare it to like a Lil Dicky, right? Walk with me. I know maybe this
Lil Dicky goes hard. Right. He's a funny rapper.
Exactly. He's a funny rapper, but he has some bars, right? But he's more of a comedian than his rapper, right? YG is like super serious. But I think that because he's like, a gang member or whatever the case, or a part of that life, people don't really take his lyricism serious. Like, he's just talking about some gangbang stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of brush it off to the side instead of really like listening to what he has to say, like really like keying in on like what he's talking about. Like, you know what I mean? It takes more than just like Lorina was saying, like just to turn up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to actually like key in, like. Listen to what's going on behind the scenes.
Like honestly, I just once again attribute that to people not really listening to full albums. Honestly, because YG, if you go through YG's whole first album, like there's really hard turn up records on there, songs that have kickbacks and parties and were played in clubs and everything. But when you go through that album, really like he talking about shit. He really talking. Like, he talking his talk. He really telling stories. He was telling stories on Meet the Flockers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been telling stories. Like, so the storytelling that he's doing on this album is just on a more elaborate, more deep storytelling. Like, talking about, like, Keisha in the situation with her and Ray and all those people. You know what I'm saying? But, like, he's been telling stories. His whole albums have been stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, that whole My Crazy Life album is a story, like Still Brazy is still a cohesive like story, you know what I'm saying? Like he even goes at the end, like the album cover you see it where it's like emotion, like he's looking over he's like, and that's why I've been looking over our back. He connects everything, you know what I'm saying? So even with Stay Dangerous, he connects everything, like I don't know, like YG is an artist I feel like that's more so underrated, I would say.
I definitely agree with that.
I agree. When you're painting that picture, I definitely agree. And especially, too, like, I think also, too, that could be why he's going for this kind of change in his music. You know, he's trying to show his depth.
Yeah.
Because, you know, lyrically, like he may not be as hard as other people, but he's there.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, also too, we are spoiled. I mean, we have like arguably, you know, best rapper in the game right now, you know, coming from our area. So, you know, we're gonna have to obviously compare him to, you know, that. You know,
True.
I mean, if he was from, you know, like, I mean, obviously, you know, YG, this whole swag, you know, is from West Coast. But if he was from, like, you know, like, I don't know, Arizona or something, or like, or like, I don't know, like Tech Nine from Kansas City, Missouri, like, really messing with Tech Nine out there in Missouri.
At all.
Yeah. But also too, I want to change it up a little bit because
why didn't we bring up the game? The game is
the game. That's too.
I was definitely thinking the game.
Also too, J-Rock.
Yeah, and J-Rock, but I wouldn't put J-Rock there yet.
He's considered.
I feel like he's not there yet. Like he still gotta.
He's good though. He's a well respected
right. For sure.
Yeah,
I mean, he just got the key to the city. Why?
Exactly. So he's like that tells you how respected he is. Like I would never take anything away from J-Rock, but in putting him in the conversation, he's not in the conversation.
Fair. It's a shout out, man.
There's no disrespect to J-Rock. J-Rock is hard as fuck.
Redemption was crazy, man. If you're watching this episode.
Outside of my time. Rotation will 12 too. Yeah. But to change subject really quick, I'm someone that was in YG's first album. He also released a single late last night. Said it was going to go platinum in 10 minutes. I don't think it has. But Tory Lanez dropped a song called Broke Leg with Quavo and Tyga last night. If you listen to it, it's an interesting song. It's a short song, 2 minutes 45 seconds. His chorus, he basically resamples the Juvenile song. Because we're
Back That Ass Up.
Oh, okay.
But it's really interesting.
I haven't heard this one. Yeah. Sounds cool so far.
But it's really interesting about it. You know, sounds like you were saying he sounded like Meek Mill.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't singing no more.
Yeah, Tory Lanez was rapping.
Oh, just
he was barring up.
Okay.
But he sounded just like Meek Mill. Like I think me and Micah said like Micah said it, I was thinking it, and I was like, why does he sound like Meek? And then in my head, and then Micah was like, he sound like Meek Mill. Like he sounds just like Meek Mill. The song, personally, to me, was hard as hell though.
Yeah.
It's a song that probably will be played a lot during the summertime. It's definitely gonna be in rotation on radios. Platinum in 10 minutes? That didn't happen.
No. It'll go somewhere.
That's reach.
Yeah.
It'll go somewhere.
I'd say at least the album.
I think he was trying to practice that law of attraction, but you know, he must not have believed in it that much.
He just figured since Quavo and Tyga, you know.
In the music video teaser, he's standing on a pyramid of girls twerking.
Yeah.
So he's going for it. Yeah. So if you guys have a chance to listen to Broke Leg by Tory Lanez, Quavo, and Tyga, check it out. You know, Tyga's comeback tour. It started.
This is like his third or fourth comeback.
I'm about to say why the fuck?
It's not his album. But I mean, like, you know, Tastes. It's big now. I think on Spotify last night because I was just looking into him. You know, he had like 615 million streams already, and then you know,
Spotify,
and then
it's only been out for like what, 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah, and then you know he's on the Go Loco. He snapped.
Bro, he snapped on that.
And now you know
he's so good for features.
Yeah,
Tyga, like he's in his bag when he's in the feature. Like I don't know about like you know.
Like album wise, I would say Tyga like but when he drops singles and he's on features,
he's realized that though.
Yeah,
at this point,
clearly that's why he hasn't dropped the album. And he's had songs for like the past year or two that's been on. Yeah. He has not dropped the album. I think that's for a reason.
What was that song that he did with Offset? It was another single right after Taste. It was the Taste in the reverse, like. It was the same
the one that sounds just like him.
Like, same beat.
The reason Lorina don't like him.
Oh, was it Light It Up?
If it has Offset on it.
That's not
Taste. It was Taste, bro.
It was Taste.
Oh, Taste?
Yeah, Taste was the one that had Offset on it.
Oh, I'm tripping.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, you want Swish? Because it was a Swish. Swish was first, I think, right? And then was it Taste?
Was it?
Let me check. I don't remember because
it was definitely one of the. I think Taste came right after it.
But all of the beats sound the same. He found his formula and he's sticking to it.
Oh yeah! Don't forget, he also snapped on the Post Malone Wow remix.
You know, I missed that one.
Yeah, because I was happy because I've been gassing up Roddy Ricch to Ivan.
Yeah.
Every day this summer, and then Roddy Ricch decided to start singing.
Honestly, that was probably the worst Roddy Ricch.
I know. Right when I put you on him, right after which you see him in concert too.
Yeah. I mean, he got good songs for himself, but that feature was not good. Yeah. That was his first, I feel personally, big look because Post Malone was.
But he also was on his Nipsey song too.
Yeah, Racks in the Middle. Yeah, that was his best. I feel like that's his best look, honestly, because it was solid, like in Nips, and that song was, man.
That song's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, too, real quick, we're gonna shift because there was a couple albums that did come out. We listened to them. We also too we were told to review the Logic and Joyner Lucas song called Isis. It was hard.
Logic went the fuck in on that.
Yeah, he did.
Like, I'm usually not opposed to listening to Logic on a feature.
Yeah.
But he went the fuck in. Like, what I mean? He was going up like bars and like he said something again about being biracial, but it was like the way he flipped it was like real tight. You know what I'm saying? And then I ain't gonna front though. I know the Joyner Lucas song.
It was a lot.
I didn't like Joyner Lucas part. No disrespect, man.
I mean, but that's
just it's what it is.
Logic pretty much made it a Logic song, honestly.
Yeah, he did.
I think I was more excited about Logic being on the song than it was Joyner Lucas. Mm-hmm. Like, personally, like this is my opinion. Like, both of them are cool. They both are kind of corny. Yeah. And honestly, like when I first saw that, them doing a song together. I remember they had like a little beef going on. But I was just like, this is about to be a corny ass song, but
Well, the one thing too,
works, I guess, but not for Joyner Lucas stuff.
What do you think about Logic though? Like, you hit on this really well with Logic because his bars are really hard. Mm-hmm. Obviously he went mainstream with that one album, Everybody, the 1-800 song, but he never really has found his own style yet. Like
he's still searching.
He's still searching. It's been a long time now.
He's been searching since I've been in high school.
Yeah, because ultimately, like the songs that he gets popular for are the ones with the features. The one with Slim Shady that he with Eminem. Yeah. He took the Slim Shady flow, and that one already went like platinum already too. Then he did the Wu-Tang song, and that one they took the Wu-Tang flow. Yeah. This one, he didn't really have like someone to really go off of, so he just just rapped pretty fast.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Man,
is he good?
He can rap.
He can rap.
He's a good rapper.
But what's stopping him from cracking that top
I think
five?
He needs to go through more in life. If that makes sense.
He's been through a lot.
He's been through a lot.
But that's the thing, though. Yeah. Maybe he's already... if that's the case, then maybe he's already talked about that too much. Like, what he went through. Because then he did in his mixtape days, right? Like, Young Sinatra and all that. Yeah,
Young Sinatra, he was really mainly barring up a lot, though.
Right.
I would say, like, with his first album, Under Pressure, that's when he talked about his life. That's when he talked about his life. Like, he let us know who he was,
where he was at,
that he was biracial, that his mom was white, and she was racist to him, and his dad was a black man. And that's where we got to know a lot. Yeah. So it was like tight.
Yeah.
But you can clearly tell he was jocking his influences there. You know what I'm saying? And I remember he was saying, "What's wrong with us? Being inspired by people that are out now. Why is it that we just have to use our inspirations of people that legends? Kendrick's a young legend. J. Cole's a young legend. I like them. So I'm gonna be influenced by them. And it's like, that's cool, bro. But then he dropped his next album. What was the greatest
story?
Incredible true story.
And that album was hard too.
But also too, he had that theme going.
That theme is so fresh.
He after Incredible True Story, that was it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping, because it ends with them going into paradise, where like the whole thing is they're traveling through space in the future. They've lost all creativity in any form of arts, and they have to listen to a Logic album because that's the album that changed it all. And that's an album that's going to be a representation of music, of Earth, if the Earth was unexplainably collapsed and we're just stuck in space travel. And that was a cool concept, though. Yeah. It was a cool concept.
Okay, so do you feel as if that connected with everybody, or it didn't, or it was like missed? So I felt like it was like definitely connected, but it was like eating popcorn that you got at Walmart as opposed to hitting the movies and getting over a red box like action popcorn. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're getting the album, you're getting the story pieced together, but it's not really like all like there. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to compensate for like literal, not no pun, everybody, and in that he kind of lost the story that he had
a little bit. Well, the thing too is, you know, he like was also a very different rapper. I mean, he was kind of honestly, I kind of when I first listened to him, I thought he was kind of be like a new Drake because he was singing a lot, but he was singing like his bridges,
right?
But he would rap a lot harder than Drake would.
Yeah,
it was different, you know, because you know just his background, how he wants to rap at the time.
Yeah,
you know, like but. He always like has like really proper English when he raps too. So like, but it was just like that, and then he just basically would sing on the bridges, and then I thought that was it.
Yeah.
But then he's kind of after that he kind of had that whole thing where he was trying to release so many albums so he can get out of his contract with his label, and then after he finished that up, he did kind of went to a different direction, and now he's been doing his own thing.
Yeah,
it's just been weird, you know. It's just been interesting because I wouldn't say we've heard an evolution, and like I mean any person like because. Somebody who has the lyric capability of somebody like that, like we've seen them evolve. Like we've seen we've seen Kendrick evolve over how many albums? Like 3 basically.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Or if you even go back to like Kendrick Lamar, EP, OD,
all that, exactly.
You've seen Kanye evolve.
Yeah. I would say we actually have seen Logic evolve. Like he's become way more melodic in his songs. You know, his subject matter has become much more deeper.
He's become more confident too.
He's become more confident, But I would just say personally, my thing about it is just that he doesn't appeal to me, and also, I just don't like the fact that he wears his influences on his sleeves. Honestly, the fact that he wears his influences on his sleeves kind of to me takes away from his artistry. Honestly,
because it takes away from his individuality.
Yeah, because. Yeah. I honestly thought like when he was doing the Young Sinatras like back when I was in high school that when he actually blew up he was gonna be in the same conversation with Kendrick, with J. Cole at the time. But then as I saw him become a bigger artist and then he dropped Under Pressure, I was like, okay, people are actually getting to know who he is. This is tight. This album is dope.
Yeah.
Then the next album was dope. But then I just couldn't help but to get past the fact that his influences were just straight right there. Like it was obvious that, damn, this is clearly his version of "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." This is clearly like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was so obvious that he was just jocking different artists. And I don't want to say jocking actually. I want us to say like that he was wearing his influences on his sleeves. Yeah. And he was pretty much just almost in a sense making his own response record to these legendary records or artists that were out now that he loved, But I don't know. I just feel like he definitely could have evolved in a way that was more individual. But now it's just kind of just like
mainstream now.
Yeah, but mainstream. It doesn't really matter if it's mainstream to me. It's just the fact that it's just.
But it's not But he's kind of gone to that mainstream formula. Like he's kind of like Jay said. He's kind of like lost his individuality that he could have had to kind of fit to that mainstream mold a little bit.
And speaking of, I feel like on this last project. I forgot what title is already.
ISIS or the actual album? Not Supermarket, right? Supermarket was
not Supermarket.
Supermarket was that book thing. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Or Dangerous Mind, yeah. That's a Dangerous Mind. I feel like he was on some records. He was finding his way back to possibly creating that individual self. Like even on records where he was we had features on him, like this one record. To me, like with Gucci Mane, which in a way was. Kind of paying homage to him in a way, because So Icy, that was his thing back in the day, right? Yeah. Like, so it's like
that's that big song.
Yeah, but he was still kind of like staying on his own path, even, like holding his own. I mean, and there were a couple other records. I have to list, but I don't know. I feel like on Confession of a Dangerous Mind, it's not his best work by any means, because it had like it was too long. First of all,
it was 16 songs.
16 songs. He could have cut it to 12.
Yeah.
Yet he was like he's on his way to finding himself now. I feel like you know what I mean. It's still wavering, right?
Yeah. But I actually personally like enjoyed that album. That album was pretty dope. And honestly, like when I compare everybody and then I look at this album, like everybody just honestly like I listened to it a few times and it lost me. Like it was just like. I didn't really mess with it as much, but this album, like I listened to it a few times as well. Like it doesn't have any replay value to me, but it was still a better album than what I was expecting. To be honest with you, the Supermarket was trash.
You know what's kind of interesting too, just looking at this, I don't know if he meant to do this or it looks like he's actually, no, so the album for Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, the jacket he's wearing, it looks like the exact same jacket in Incredible True Story.
Yeah, it does.
Same, except the little triangle logo on the wrong other side.
Oh, yeah.
I was just a joke with Ivan that when he had his hair back, that's when he was really using the spit.
Yeah. And I mean, his hair's back, so.
He spits, you know. But then, that's basically finishing up our chopping up section. We will have there was a lot of other projects that came out that we really didn't have a chance to really go through as much. Honorable mentions of new music that came out was Moneybagg Yo came out the album called Forever Heartless. It was an interesting project. He kind of went into his feels a little bit there. Had a lot of good features. Had a City Girls feature. Had a Kevin Gates feature as always.
Had a Black Youngster
feature. Yeah, I like Black Youngster. And then Beast Coast, which is a collab band of Joey Badass and Flatbush Zombies.
Flatbush Zombies, Underachievers, Pro Era, like CJ Fly, Nick Caution, Kirk Knight.
It was I almost called Escaping New York. We listened to that too. It kind of got a little repetitive after a bit. The first song got us. Like it flowed hard. Yeah. Kind of got repetitive.
I think with that album, honestly, like that's an album where it just has good songs on it. Like it's not a straight listen to for me personally. It was more so like dope songs on it. Everybody gasses. Everybody does their thing on it. Does what they do best. It just personally to me what was like more so not a good straight through listen because it just got too repetitive, like you said.
Yeah. And then another album that came out. We're not going to chop it up this episode. We're going to chop it up next episode. Denzel Curry dropped Zoo. First listen so far. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
I first got to listen to it first.
That's why we're not chopping up this episode.
Next episode.
Next episode, you'll be hearing us talk about Zoo. We'll actually spend a little bit of time on this one, though. We listened to it, and talking to Jay a little bit about it, we did have mixed opinions on it. That's why I want to chop it up. But Steve Lacy.
Yeah.
Apollo, I guess we'll just say Apollo 21, because it's XXI. But Apollo XXI, Apollo 21. When I listened to it, I was expecting, that single he dropped, Enough Said, was some smooth R&B. I was kind of expecting some Pink Sweats kind of vibe. He didn't do that though. It was kind of a trick. I couldn't really find a theme in that album. I felt like it was a creative attempt. I felt like, but I couldn't find like a solid, the I was expecting that R&B solid, smooth voice that goes through, and he was kind of creating all these kind of sounds, but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't there. But Jay, you said when you first looked, you messed with it, right?
I messed with it, man. I feel like he was going for like. Cause I don't know. It seems to me like it was a self-actualization kind of journey he was going on, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like with the nuances of how the beats were. It was like to me it sounded like there were moments where it was like kind of a suffocated sound. Then it was like a funk-defied kind of 80s like a smidgen of R&B, but more so funk. But I hear what you're saying in terms of it kind of being like everywhere. But I feel like that again, like when you're on a journey, it's like you kind of trying to figure out where you are. Like you go through all different types of stages of what you're going through and stuff like that. Like so I think that that's why
it's kind of like in that spot. It's kind of a transitional album
in a way.
Yeah, like Kanye did like Life of Pablo or like what's the Yeezus.
Yeah.
And then he finally, I feel like he nailed. I mean, this may just be my opinion because people have their mixed opinions, but I felt like he nailed the balance on Ye. And he got it, and then he took it to the next level on Kids See Ghosts.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Which is why they should tour.
Yeah,
I think they're working on it actually.
Please tour. What happened to Yandi?
But honestly, with the Steve Lacy album, it was actually like listening to it again. Like I like the harmonies, I like the production on it. It was everywhere to me, so that's kind of what took away from it. But I think I need to listen to it with the same lens that you listen to it with, as far as it is a journey. So I'm gonna listen to it with that ear just to see what I get from it, because it's Apollo 21. So clearly he's on a journey there. You know what I'm saying? So I need to listen to it as such. So, but as far as right now, I just feel like it was everywhere. But
we'll give him a shot. I mean, he'll come out with something fire at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dope artist, like dope producer, dope writer, dope singer, like. Yeah. So.
Well, speaking of dope writer, dope producer, everything, for this week's Come Up of the Week, we got Tyler the Creator, #1 album in the country. Number one album in the country, even though despite the fact that Young Thug said it was weak.
But he was just playing.
I know.
He clearly was playing, but I saw people taking that personally.
Yeah. I mean, there's
like,
people that just on the internet that just don't have nothing else to go, oh, God.
Like, even though Young Thug clearly put the Pinocchio nose,
right?
It's like he was lying.
Right.
Well, people just are people, you know.
They're gonna choose to be offended.
Yeah, exactly.
The next section we have in our podcast, though, is we have the moment. We have someone who had a bad week. We call it the For Real Though moment because after you say it, it makes you say For Real. Exactly. It's pretty good. Right?
One more time.
Because every time you say it, the event that happened, it makes you say For Real though. Yeah. It works too when you if you say For Real, you kind of tilt your head like how your mom like when your mom got mad at you, even though she just told you not to do it, but you still did it anyway. And she just was like For Real though.
Yeah.
So this week's For Real though goes to Yo Gotti. He backed out of a recording session, and pocketed the $20,000 that was paid to him. By backing out and taking the $20,000 with him, he was now sued and now will I forgot who he was working with, but he will now owe them $6.1 million. So, Yo Gotti,
what's the problem? Yo Gotti, did you need it that bad?
Yo Gotti,
was Rick dude?
Once again, For Real though?
Because
have you seen that guy's house? His driveway spins. The car comes out and it spins to the road. You don't even have to back out. You just have to do a turn. You know what we should call it? Instead of For Real though this week, we should call it the dumbass of the week. What the fuck? But he brought us Break It Up. I mess with that song.
I mean, Yo Gotti, I actually do. Yo Gotti's actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
But come on, man. Bro.
So he just pocketed and got on. That's terrible.
Real shit.
No, really, come on.
They should have paid him after the record was made.
For Real though / come on, man.
Come on, man.
On that L Lover. Come on, son.
Oh yeah.
Come on, son. There we go. Dang, we took that from L Lover. So to wrap up, basically, our podcast, though, we also talked about new music that is coming out. We did talk about the next episode. We will talk about Denzel Curry and Zoo. But new music that has been hinted to come out that we may chop up if it does come out. There has been rumor of a Boogie with the Hoodie, Lil Baby, and Roddy Ricch collab. Mm-hmm. We have expectations of that, but Ivan unfortunately thinks, and I think you may be right, it will probably just be melodic.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
It's not bad, but I want him to spit.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear Roddy Ricch spit, honestly. Okay. But I definitely think he's finding a more of a singing niche now.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be probably on the hook or on the song just singing, which isn't bad because it's still cool. But it's just we definitely want more rapping from him.
Yeah.
But
I mean, ever since Roddy Ricch began out with every season, and he did that whole video clip on Instagram, with Iron Banks playing the ukulele with everybody standing behind him. You knew he was gonna be put on. So before we get some of that, we also have been hearing rumors of a Meek Mill and Gucci Mane collab. Coming at some point. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be hard.
It's really
I don't know why, but that made me think about, wasn't there supposed to be a Meek Mill and Nip album?
I heard it was supposed to be a YG and Nip album.
Yeah.
That was definitely going to happen, but that wasn't being promoted as. I could have sworn I think probably a week or two before Nipsey was murdered. I heard something about You remember that's when people were saying something about everybody was gonna feel judged or something like that, and then when you had that conversation about everybody, because it was I feel like there was supposed to be a Nipsey Hussle and Meek Mill album, and I was like that album's gonna be dummy motivational. Yeah. You don't remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I was there for that conversation.
Yeah, I think you probably were there for that. Yeah. But
YG and Nip album would have been everybody just coming on each side of the street with all the cars pumping.
Oh,
for real. Hey, Todd,
everyone's just doing footwork together.
Right.
That album would have been hard.
That's a musical.
Bro, a live action.
On the beautiful set of Crenshaw Street. That's that. Oh Lord.
That's everybody.
Two other projects that came out last night. We won't have time to cut them up yet. We may cut them up next episode. Cardi B came out with a song called Press. We'll check that out. Also, too, if any of you guys are into him, you may have only heard of him from ASAP song, but Skepta dropped his album Ignorance is Bliss.
Crazy.
Skepta is actually real hard.
I definitely want to hear that album.
So that dropped too. We'll probably end up chopping that up with.
We'll chop that up next week.
There you go. We will chop it up. Also too, this is I don't know what is exactly going on, but due to the post coming out, I believe there will be a Scott Storch album.
Yo,
he was seen in the studio yesterday or 2 days ago with 50 Cent, and then today he was in the studio with J. Cole.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's what
the Scott Storch album comes out. You know damn well we'll be chopping that up. On top of that too, I want that DJ Mustard album to come out. If Metro Boomin can do it, I know Mustard could do it too.
Yo, Mustard would drop a hard ass album, but I'm going back to that Scott Storch album. Yeah. Yo, that's definitely gonna be way better than DJ Khaled's last album and everything, because Scott Storch is an incredible producer.
Yeah.
Like it definitely won't even be comparable to like a DJ Khaled album. So I don't know why I said it, but just the fact that it's gonna be a compilation.
Scott Storch don't sample. He writes everything himself.
But Scott Storch is a hard ass. He can play the keys.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because DJ Khaled was sample heavy. Like he'll use samples.
Yeah.
Like Scott Storch is like one of the few producers that will actually like write the beat himself with the joint in his hand, with the blunt in his hand, and playing the keyboard with those big ass glasses.
Right.
So I mean, if you got, and it says something if you got 50 in the studio. You haven't heard 50 in a hot minute.
Yeah, true.
So that'll be interesting. But
Animal Ambition.
Otherwise, though, y'all.
I do remember that. That was fire. I don't know what to say. 50 Cent Animal Ambition. If y'all have not heard that, you're playing yourself.
But on that note, because that was a really important PSA, you can't miss out on that. It's a good album. So on that note, that wraps up our second episode of the weekly 1-2.
1-2.
Thank you y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next week when we talk about Denzel Curry's album and hopefully Scott Storch's album, but also Skepta's album. Thank you all for tuning in. See y'all soon. Thank you for tuning in to the weekly 1-2.